I suppose part two. This is exactly where I left the last video. I haven't changed anything. So we did in the previous video, we set up a brand new clean empty project URP. We set up the save games, and we went through some of the rendering textures, and we converted our materials to URP. So this one we're going to do multiplayer. I'm not getting into the whole of the mirror, fishnet, stuff like that. This works with mirror. Mirror works fine. I've been testing it on my phone, playing against my MacBook Pro M1, my Windows 7 VM, and my Intel iMac, and on my phone. It's really hard to play four people at the same time. I mean, I talk to myself quite a bit, and it's quite fun when I have an argument, and then when the third person joins in and has an argument, that's even more fun. But you tried doing that on four devices, it's not easy, especially when you want to just try and test something rather than phone a mate up, say, "Oi, give me a hand." Um, so there was something I noticed. I don't know if you all noticed. The save games didn't load up properly. I was just going to check something, and that is to do with your scenes and your game version. I think I just wanted to double check. So in Game Manager, check the game code. So that's fine. That's 2023, and save games scene. I just wanted to check that, just see if that was the issue. Yeah, there you go. That's why it didn't load up properly. 2023. There you go. I found you a nice little buggy. Right, okay. Right, so just to prove that, because we saved a test save, didn't we? And it loaded one from previous video, right? So let's now go and run that. We should have that test save one. Oh, look, there's all the test saves from before. Epic. So, there you go. That's how you fix that one. Make sure your saves are the right version. So your game engine, so whatever version you're running or whatever version you're calling yours is the right version. I'm going to keep that as 2023.0.0, but when I actually sort of start doing release builds, I might be up in those. I'll probably be changing that version. Obviously, display name is going to be different and things like that. So, yeah, there we go on that one. So that's been, and just to prove a point on that, I'll tell you what, let's run this, and then we'll get on to multiplayer setup. Okay, so we've got none in there. I've just deleted that out. In fact, if we go to on the Mac, where is it? No, give me the other final window. Saves. There we go. That's that one, right? So I'm just going to delete that one and move that to bin. So we now have folders empty, okay? So we're on there. We haven't got any saves. We're going to go there. We're going to go single player. I'm going to go demo. I'm just going to start that one off. Okay. I'm going to grab a bod. This is only because of the lighting and the scene and everything. I'm not really going to go into that. You all can figure that one out yourself. All right. Go there. And go test save one. All right, it's saved. Let's go. No, we're going to let that run for a minute. That what I'm going to do. Actually, give me one of you lot. You go and do my house over there. It's just proves, show you that the saves are working. So he was just starting on that one, if you remember. Right, let's go main menu. Yes, save games. There's our save. Let's load our game. And there's our building, and that's our position we was in. So that's fine. All right, okay. Cool. Yes, we want to exit. And exit. No, we need to exit play mode. Right. Okay, multiplayer. So before you go and import the multiplayer module, one thing you need to do first, and that is to install Mirror. So let's go package manager, go to Mirror. Now, I've actually been doing some testing, and the latest version of Mira 79.0.1 actually does work. I haven't found any issues across multiple devices, like I say, a Windows 7 VM virtual machine, a Linux Ubuntu 20.0.4 VM, and an Intel iMac, iPhone running iOS 16, and MacBook Pro M1 Silicon, which is running, I don't know what it's running, Ventura 13.4. So, and my iMac is only running 10.13. So, I've had no issues with those. Okay, so we're going to import that one. I could have done all that while that was importing. Will that finish? That was a fun little pop-up. My poor Mac's getting a little bit hot. It's been quite hot here, and I haven't had the aircon on today. I leave it on leave it on max. Come on, you, they catch up. Okay, so we've imported Mira, and that's fine. If you've bought the module the Mira module's free. It's on the website. If you haven't downloaded it, go and download it. Obviously, go log in, set up, and download it. Download all three modules. By default, something I do anytime there's an update, I download all the assets. I'd rather just buy them through the website, so Dev gets all the money and Unity doesn't take a chunk. Well, that's me personally. It's my way of supporting, I suppose, as well, because he's saving me a lot of time. So anyway, so once you've got your module downloaded, I by default save my modules and stuff, so packages that I download from the internet. So Mira, thank you. Go on, play catch up. Right. Okay, that's that. I know why. Been a bit skanked up. I know it's empty. Oh, it's a save one. What? Behave yourself. Custom. Was I on the save one? Right. Multiplayer mirror. Okay. Open. Epic failure. It's great, isn't it? Okay, that's imported that. I'm going to save the save game loader because I changed that, didn't I? Right. So in multiplayer, under multiplayer, we've got our mirror and we've got our scenes. So you need to open all these scenes up. And I'm going to flip these around just so you can see what we're looking at. So that's that one. The headless server, there's nothing to look at, and that's that one. Okay, so let's go to our build settings, add open scene. I'll come back to that lobby thing in a minute, add open scene, and that one, and open scene. So when you're building your game, you don't need that one ticked. I'm just going to move that to the top, move the main menu below it. Just like having these ordered how I want the game to flow. You don't have to. I don't suppose it makes a difference at all. But I think map should be the last one anyway. Yeah, that's fine. Okay. Right. Don't go and try and run that scene. You'll get errors. Okay. And the reason being is because you need to go to that scene from. There you go. I told you get errors. You need to go to this scene from. Where was it? I'll get my teeth in so I can get my train of thought. You need to go from the main multiplayer main menu into that scene. because it needs things like your IP address and the port and things like that, and they actually get transferred through. I'm not getting into details on how that works, but that just does. So if we played that one, everything would work fine. So if I go host game, as you can see, there you go, and close that, and we can go into there. We've got save games, we've got our test save from earlier, and we've got our single player. So that's all working fine. So that's setting up Mirror basically. The annoying thing is you have to figure out your own way of getting the IP address. Obviously, that's going to be the IP address of the machine you're running on. So if you're running a LAN game, it'll be your localhost machine, like 192.168.0. Whatever your local IP is of your machine. And if you've got someone in another room, it's going to be the IP of their machine that they need to put. Oh, sorry. That IP address would be, you put in your IP address if you're hosting. If you're joining the game, you need to put in the LAN IP of the game you're joining. If you're doing it on the internet, it needs to be your public IP, which is what's my IP.org, I think it is, things like that. So Mirror is quite an easy one to set up. I am going to show you a little treat, something I've been working on, although I really messed my project up yesterday. So I've got to restore it back, but I'm going to just whack this one up quick while that's loading. I've actually got a lobby menu system set up, but I messed mine up a little bit yesterday, so mine's sort of reverted back to its default. As you can see, I've got different scenes. I'm going to get into this area here in a little bit when I get onto the mobile. In fact, it's probably a good one to leave open. I'll get onto that in a second, but I will show you this little treat for multiplayer, because multiplayer is quite a short one. Let me just kill the sound off. Okay. On a VM I've got running at the moment, Linux VM, I actually have a game server running. It's not actually a game server, it's a lobby. And all it does is when you click on online multiplayer here, it will register. Currently, it's only registering LAN IPs, because that's why I have a local LAN game and I have an online one. But when I'm ready to push my lobby onto one of my servers, web servers, then when you play this, it will actually populate the IP address with your public IP. It will tell it to the game server, and then anyone who wants to play against me can then click and join game. I didn't want to jump into going down the route of setting up Steamworks and all that sort of thing and things like that, particularly because I'm not that far ahead in my project yet. But if I've got, well, I've got some friends that want to test, so I'll set this up so that we can test it, and we can sort of jump online and say, "All right, I'm online now. You fancy a quick game?" And then we can just go and play. But obviously, if you've played some other games, I'm not naming names, but every time I've gone into multiplayer, there's no one ever online, and that's the only downside. Unless you've got 30 million people that have got the game, someone's bound to be online at some point. I could have this register the game to start with. The way this lobby system works is pretty much the same as Counter-Strike, if you play Counter-Strike, and that every game server listed isn't actually a game server, it's actual someone's PC that they're running Counter-Strike on. So by default, it looks like there's tons of game servers. There are quite a few. I used to actually run a couple of Counter-Strike game servers, and used to be really into that back in the day. Cool. I'm showing my age now, like you probably Call of Duty now, on Minecraft. Anyway, but so this is playing. What I'm going to do is I'm going to bring up a build folder. Yeah, let's go that one. Um, go to my build folder, and what I'll do is I will bring up that one. I've just got to shrink this down, that's all. Let's just do that. I love this on a Mac. You can't do that on a Windows, I don't think. I'm going to get rid of the audio. That's fine. Right. Okay. So this is just a demo of this game lobby. So we'll do it on this one, and then we'll go into the IDE version as well. So it's connected game server. I've started to reset this back to default. As you can see, it's got my LAN IP on there. Update list, and there's no games. So I'm going to create one, and I'm sitting there waiting for people to come and play. And I'm going to set that to map 3. And I'm ready. I'm just waiting for someone to come and join. And so Fred here, he's gone online, and oh look, there's a game there, and I'm going to join that game, and I'm going to tick that one because I'm ready, but I want to be an orc. And this is going to show you where I really messed up. So obviously this one's hosting the game, so we're going to click start. And as you can see, Fred here, he's an orc. He's got his orcs. This is on the mobile. Yeah, I'll show you that reason why that messed up in a second. And I've basically, and you can see the errors popping up in the console here. Yeah, that's my fault. That's because I've got some issues. I really messed up. So I've got to sort of fix that. But that's basically how the lobby menu system works. But I just thought to show you that's possible. Yeah, right. So why did this actually show our mobile version? It's a good way of sort of getting into that before we get onto mobile controls. As you saw on that app there a second ago, we had a nice. Actually, I'm just going to open this back up again. Yeah. Oh, that's fine. Right. Let's go on. Actually, we don't have to do that. I'm going to cancel. Go single player. So map 3. Map 3 was selected. This is a desktop build. Okay, it's not an iOS build. And I'm just going to do this with the NPC at the moment, and then I'm going to pause it. All right, and you can see what I mean about the positions. I really messed up spawn positions and everything. I've been fixing it, but it's fixed in near, not in the build. But I'm just going to bring that up. So, also running off doing their thing. So we've got sort of like a standard desktop build, right? There. Now, when I went to obviously on single player, if I go and do that here and I do that on map 3 now, I have a mobile version, okay? And that typically should be in the simulator as well, and it should be on an iPhone because that's the one I'm developing it for. I rotate around. Okay. So why is the interface different? Because that interface loaded up when we went to play online, and that is literally because in your maps, right? There's sort of this is one of 2 reasons why I was actually sort of showing this off for a second. In the let's go scene anyway. In your scenes for your multiplayer lobby, you define where your maps are, what your maps are. Okay, so you define your scene name. map 3, map 2, whatever you're calling them. When you create your mobile map, if you make sure you use the same scene name, but you save it into a different folder. So in other words, in my case, I go scenes mobile, map 3, folder for map 3, so it keeps the lighting and the nav mesh and stuff. And then map 3 is the scene name, the same as this. When you build for these, then you will need to tick. So if you're doing desktop, you want to tick that one. If you're doing mobile, you want this map. That way, then if someone's playing on a desktop and someone's playing on a mobile, those two scenes will still work. It'll be the same game, same scene. I'll go into more detail in that when I do a one on mobile controls, but that's fine on that. Also, something else while I'm in here, even though that worked, and it only really worked because this MacBook Pro M1 is running Silicon processor, which basically means anything I install on my iPhone, I can also install on this Mac. I don't need a dedicated Mac app for it to play it. So any games I buy, most of them anyway, depends if they support both builds, will run. But if I want to test a desktop build, I really got to go back to there and switch platform. I've found issues if you do that, and I'll demo that when I do the mobile controls. But yeah, so when you're doing your scene names, keep your scene names if you want a mobile version the same, but make sure that you do actually have a different folder for your mobiles. So like for demo map, I'll show you on the mobile controls. But that's it for multiplayer, and I showed you a nice little lobby, and that's a nice short little one, I suppose. So I'm going to leave this one here, and then I was going to grab another coffee, and then we'll get on with mobile controls. I think got a choice. We can do advanced building profile or mobile controls. I think advanced building profile. I mean advanced building placer. I think we'll go with mobile controls first because it does if you do that one first, you will get an error about one script, which you can safely delete. But I'll show you that one in a second. So what we caught up on this one, how to install Mirror and how to set that up. It's really quick and easy. A little bit of information about your maps and the game version that we sorted out on the other one. I think actually for save games, because if you're watching the first one, and also the same game code in the multiplayer lobby. I'm going to mention that as well. Make sure that game code is consistent all the way across, because there will be issues, or you'll get the odd error or connection issues as well. I think that's it basically. I don't think there's anything more I need to go into about that. Right, I'll see you on the next video, probably part 3. Right, cheers, bye.